he went pretty hard for like 5 minutes at
He
me and
did.
like the grossness of social media and people like me and how we're liars and all this kind of stuff. And I loved it, right? It's great. It allows me to respond.
Hey there, and welcome to a brand new episode of Delivering Marketing Joy. I'm your host, Kirby Hausman, but joining me today is a brand new rock star. I'm so excited to have him here today. He's a real estate investor. He's an entrepreneur, a content creator, influencer, and he's the founder of Faster Freedom. Sam Primm, thanks so much for joining me today.
I'm excited to be here, Kirby, ready to rock and roll.
Cool, man. Thanks. So as I mentioned, you're a very accomplished real estate investor. The thing about you, though, is I found you through a lot of the content you create on Instagram and Reels and all this stuff. And that really is what caught my eye. So why is it, as a real estate investor, why do you spend so much time and energy creating content? What's it do for your business?
Yeah, so it's kind of multifaceted. So I have my rental portfolio, as you mentioned. I'm pretty active in that space. I have single families and multifamilies. Then I have a flipping company for more of the active income, the wholesale and the flipping. And I started to create content a few years ago because I wanted to get a YouTube channel that made $400 or $500 a video, put out a video a week, and start to get some extra income. I quickly found out that I'm not very good at YouTube. I wasn't then and not really now. So I started to do the short form stuff, and some for how my mind works or whatever it is, I kind of have a knack for this shorter minute, 30, 45-second videos, those type of styles. Got a lot of traction there, and then kind of parlayed that into the short form, and now I do a little bit of both. But honestly, at first, it was just another income stream for me for my YouTube channel, but then it turned into, 3.1 million followers and all this crazy stuff that I never imagined it would be. But, it was pretty innocent initial beginnings, but then it kind of turned into some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, what I notice about you is you're willing to try new things and to try new trends. So how has the content evolved? Obviously from YouTube to the shorts, but how's it evolved for you?
Yeah, it's evolved a lot. It seems like the algorithms are always doing something slightly different. And like you said, I'm willing to try new things. So it started out as me just throwing stuff out there. And there's kind of been two phases for me. The first phase was just post, analyze, and post. And I just posted a ton. And I went back and looked. And this video got 150 views and this other video got 60 views. Why did this one get 150 views? Go back and look and just try to create more of what did well. Was it the style, the topic, the deliverability, whatever it was, right? I'm kind of a lunatic and a psycho, so I was like analyzing things like crazy. And then it started to work. And then through that process, I moved on to phase two for me, which is like my hub and spoke. So I have like hub videos that I know do well. Like I'm in $25-30 million worth of debt. I know that hub does well, that hook or hub, however you want to call it. But then I have different deliverables. I can walk down the stairs doing that. I can have words pop up my head not talking. I can talk and have that happen. I can do a lot of different ways. So now I have like 10 or 15, core hubs that I know do well. And I spoke off of them occasionally with different types of deliverables. But even that runs out of content. So that's why I'm always experimenting. So I'll usually do 2 or 3 videos that I think will do decent, that I know the deliverable will do okay, but then I'm always experimenting with new things and new ways to get more hubs, to get more of those base things. And then obviously moving along with the algorithms. Like my Instagram now, I'm doing a lot more posts and like pictures and graphics than I used to do was all video. So I'm just kind of bobbing and weaving and pretending like I know what I'm doing.
That's 100% fair. I think that's actually true of all of us, right? But what you're saying though makes a ton of sense because you post and then you analyze. I think most of us just post and pray. So the analyze piece is big. It actually leads nicely into my next question because I think one of the mistakes that I think a lot of people make, and I'm looking in the mirror here, is I find myself saying, well, I already said that. And you kind of alluded to it. You're powerfully consistent in telling your story about how to buy real estate without using any of your own money. Why do you choose to kind of do that and hammer that home?
Yeah, I think a couple reasons. One, it usually works, and that's my education program. That's what I teach. So I might as well try to not bait and switch people. They see me organically, and that's what you're going to get if you get in the coaching program. But also, I remember a couple of years ago, I think it was Gary Vee or somebody saying, it's really hard to create virality. It's really hard. And people create one and then they never create another one. He's like, if you get a viral post, create a Facebook page about it, make t-shirts, create a text program about it, create like squeeze every ounce out of that virality because it's so hard to do. Now I've done it enough and I'm crazy enough. I think I have like 60 or 70 videos on TikTok that have 1 million views and maybe like 25 on Instagram. So, but usually it's the same 4 or 5 concepts. So you can deliver it differently. And to think that all 600 and whatever thousand followers on my Instagram, I see the stats. They don't all see every post.
Right.
Some of them don't even get on Instagram every day. So to think that this one post got 2 or 3 day timeline to do decent, if it goes viral, you got about a 2-week spread, a week and a half spread of it's going to get pushed. Then it's pretty much done getting pushed unless people stumble upon it on your feed. So knowing that, it's like I have new followers now. Some of my followers have literally never seen my most viral video from 6 months, whatever, you know what I mean? So just knowing that it's a continual turnstile of new people. And even if somebody saw it and liked it and they see it 3 months later, they probably don't remember exactly. I don't remember the videos that I see that I like. So anyways, yeah, just I think some people have the mindset that like I did it. All right, everybody in the world's seen it. Now I can't do it again. And occasionally I'll get, why do you make the same video over and over again? But it's still got 2 million views. So I'm okay with a few people saying that as it gets views. So I think it's a little combination of those things.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, but I still struggle to do it. And it's funny because I think it was Gary Vee and he was near me in a thing and his team was actually talking about it. So, he's got that whole team behind him, but they did a panel with their discussion. He's like, they said, well, you watch a State Farm commercial over and over again. You watch this over and over again. You watch Big Bang Theory over and over again, whatever it is. Why is it that you can only post a really good piece of content once? And that was like an eye-opening kind of comment for me. So you had we'll call it a dust up with Dave Ramsey. I was totally fascinated by that. So can you talk a little bit, for those who don't know anything about this, can you talk a little bit how that came to be and how have you used that to create valuable content?
Yeah, so Dave Ramsey is obviously this huge brand, incredibly big. I am like probably 0.25% of his brand. He's got a huge, incredible brand, and his obviously brand is no debt, no strings attached, no wiggle room. And my debt is, and my kind of spiel is more like leverage and debt. It's kind of how normal people do it. I don't want to eat cardboard and bologna sandwiches till I'm 60 and save all my money and not enjoy life. So I try to kind of give a little bit different of an option. And of course, like anybody else, make videos, just see a Dave post about that or say something. But nothing, it was never really anything beyond that. And then about a little over a year ago, somebody sent me a video of Dave's, YouTube channel, recording of his TV and radio show. And he didn't use my name, but he talked about a video I had that went viral. And he's like, this guy with 25 million in debt, holding his baby, walking around his house. There's no way he's in debt. He's a liar. It doesn't take an FBI trained to. He went pretty hard for like 5 minutes at me and like the grossness of social media and people like me and how we're liars and all this kind of stuff. And I loved it, right? It's great. It allowed me to respond with a little bit, because I'm always respectful, but it allowed me to be a little snarky and not look like I was punching up, right? He punched down, which allowed me to kind of react. So I honestly I probably created a few videos surrounding it, and I probably need to do another one reacting to it, but it was just kind of one of those things where I've seen it as I've kind of got to know a few people that are ultra successful. When you get to that age and you're that successful, everything you touch turns to gold. So I think in your mind, you're like, I'm right. There's no room for anybody else to be right. And it's a bad look for his brand for me to be right. Mm-hmm. So I asked if I could be on the show and responded to him on Instagram and all the stuff. And of course, never heard back. But anyways, it was kind of fun. It allowed for me to be able to say Dave Ramsey called me a liar on stuff like this. And it was cool. I'd love to have a further conversation about it, but it's just one of those things that happens, and it was a cool moment.
Yeah, I thought you handled it really well. I was really surprised because I was like, why is he doing that? Like I know he's got time to fill with his radio show or whatever, but I was like, I agree with you. It didn't come off super respectful, and I thought you handled it really well, where you could have been, you said it allowed you to be snarky. You could have been straight up pissy about it, and you weren't. And so kudos to you. I think the lesson there is like, hey, use these opportunities to create content. I thought you handled it really well. Final question for you. So I'm a big believer about being intentional about community in the community that you're a part of. Have you been a part of masterminds or other groups like this, and how have they worked for you?
Yeah, 100%. Like that's the biggest. And I just did speaking of social media, I just did like a post on it, and it's just like it was a story that I did a quote, and then I pushed it to a post. So it was like literally a black screen and white writing. I think it was something like the ultimate wealth hack is getting in a room where other people's reality are your biggest dreams. And that's exactly what a mastermind is. That's exactly what I do. It's the biggest thing that I've noticed to move the needle as quickly as possible is getting around other successful people that are more successful than you and just learning through how they interact with people, through osmosis, through connections, through all of that. And fortunately or unfortunately, I think it's fine. You have to pay to be in those rooms. It's just part of it. You can only get so much for free, but you're not going to get ahead. You're not going to be able to leapfrog the system without paying some type of price. You're either going to pay through it through inefficiency, or you're going to pay through it by learning from other people. And I'm a huge proponent. Obviously, I have a program, but I spend 150 grand a year to be in masterminds of people that are more successful than me. And then it's happened a couple of times where start at the bottom, you learn a lot, you kind of work your way to the top of the room, and you can walk around beating your chest, or you can pay more money to be in a bigger room and be the bottom of that room and be uncomfortable, which we all know is kind of where change happens. So I'm a huge proponent of it. I live it, I walk it, I breathe it, I do it. And obviously I teach on it as well, because following somebody else's groove path, avoiding their mistakes, doubling down on their wins, it saves you momentum, it saves you time, which is the only thing we can't get back. And it further ensures a higher probability of success and getting unstuck. Because for me, it's so much for my students. It's like there's so much that goes into every deal. And if you're able to get unstuck, and talk to somebody and keep your momentum, it's going to like be a snowball downhill, as opposed to you're on an island by yourself. What do I do next? Who knows? Yeah. Probably stop and quit. So I'm a huge proponent of masterminds and getting around other successful people. It's the only way I know to leapfrog the system.
That's awesome. Sam, thank you so much for taking the time. Where can people find more information about you?
Yeah, so pretty much any social media, as you mentioned, I'm on. So my company's Faster Freedom. My name is Sam, so Sam Faster Freedom, or look up Sam Primm or Faster Freedom. You'll find it on any social media platform, fasterfreedom.com. I have a podcast, The Faster Freedom Show, but I would suggest just heading over to Instagram, probably checking out the videos, seeing if you like what you see, and if you're interested in learning more about me or the program or anything, shoot me a DM. If you're not, just enjoy the free content and me trying to look like an idiot walking down the stairs with one shoe on to try to get your attention. So either way, you'll be entertained.
I love it. Thanks, Sam. I really appreciate it. This was really fun. I appreciate you taking the time. Maybe we'll do it again sometime, okay?
Awesome. Appreciate it, Kirby.
That's going to wrap up this edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. We'll see you next time.